Good evening and welcome to the January 19th, 2016 City Council meeting. Let the roll call reflect that all council members are present, with the exception of Councilmember Heyer, who is asked to be excused, and Chair White will be participating in this meeting via teleconference and has asked me to conduct this meeting. We'll now turn the time over to Councilmember Nadolski to lead us in the Pledge of Allegiance.
Please rise.
Flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. Now we would ask that you join us in a moment of silence. Thank you. Before we begin, we have just a note and a cleanup item on the agenda. Item number 11, the closed executive session, has been pulled from this agenda due to a scheduling conflict and will be rescheduled, so that is no longer on the agenda. First item on our agenda is a recognition for the Ogden-Weber Applied Technology College, and we've asked Councilmember Garner to read that.
Thank you, Chair or Vice Chair Blair. It's my honor to read this tonight. This is a joint resolution of the Ogden City Council and Mayor honoring the Ogden-Weber Tech College for its nationally acclaimed programs. Whereas, for more than 40 years, Ogden-Weber Tech College has provided the Ogden community with quality educational opportunities, year-round course schedules, competency-based learning, and training opportunities in high-demand technical fields. The college serves approximately 6,000 students each year, offering more than 40 technical skills programs. The Tech College has recently gained national attention for students from several of its programs excelling at the Skills USA National Competition in Louisville, Kentucky. And whereas Ogden-Weber Tech College students spend an entire week competing against top students from across the country, the Skills USA competition is a multi-million-dollar event that occupies a space equivalent to 16 football fields with more than 6,000 contestants in 100 separate events, ranging from architectural, drafting, to nail care. And whereas Ogden-Weber Tech College students brought home a total of 5 medals from the national competition, 2 gold medals and 3 silver medals, cosmetology students brought home the gold medal for the second year in a row and the third time in the last 5 years. Students from the customer service and plumbing programs also placed. And whereas the following Ogden-Weber Tech College students placed at the national competition: Stacy Galvez received a gold medal in the cosmetology post-secondary category. Jessica Shaw received a silver medal in the cosmetology post-secondary category. Megan Doherty received a gold medal in the job skills demo post-secondary category. John Hill received a gold medal in the plumbing post-secondary category, and Deborah Becker received a silver medal in the customer service post-secondary category. And whereas Ogden-Weber Tech College has proven that it can successfully train and prepare a skilled workforce, the college has been consistently rated as the best in state for technical education and the best for vets by Military Times. It has an outstanding 88% course completion rate, 90% job placement rate, and 100% licensure rate. Students are able to select from the numerous career options available and to access the necessary resources to find success in their future careers. Now, therefore, be it resolved that the Ogden City Council and Mayor Michael P. Caldwell proudly recognize the Ogden-Weber Tech College for its national achievements and congratulate students for their exceptional performance at the Skills USA competition. We appreciate the incredible efforts of administrators, instructors, and staff who provide invaluable educational and training opportunities to thousands of residents within the Ogden community. And it's my pleasure to propose that we adopt this joint resolution 2016-3.
I second it.
We have a motion to adopt proposed joint resolution 2016. 16-3 by Councilmember Garner and a second by Councilmember Stevens. This is a voice vote. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? That passes.
So the Ogden Weaver students or Weaver Tech, if you'll come up, and your instructors, and we would love to recognize you at this time.
Yeah. Shake all our hands. I have a little picture. We'll put you right in the middle with your medal.
Come this way. Oh, you want us this way? She's changing this on it.
Okay, so. Great, thank you.
And then a few comments.
Yeah.
Hi, I'm Jim Taggart, the Vice President for Instruction at the Tech College. On behalf of President Mercier, who could not be here, and our Board of Directors, our faculty and staff, thank you for this honor. We are proud to be part of Ogden City and to add to the list of number ones for Ogden City. It's a long, comprehensive list, but we are proud to be the number one tech college anywhere in the nation, and our students show that. So thank you for this recognition. We appreciate it.
Thank you.
Vice Chair, they're a great asset to our community.
They definitely are. Thank you. We have one other recognition, and I don't see the recipient here, so we're going to go ahead and skip that for now and move on, and then we'll come back to that. So that leads us to approval of minutes. First up is the regular meeting of September 15th, the work session of November 17th, the joint study session of November 24th, 2015. Councilmember Garner.
Yes, Vice Chair Belair, I have reviewed those minutes and found them to be correct.
You. And the next is the work session of November 10th, 2015, the joint study session and regular meeting of November 17th, 2015. Councilmember Stevens.
Yes, Vice Chair, they're correct.
And I'll move that we approve the minutes.
I second it.
Okay. We have a motion from Councilmember Garner and to approve the minutes and a second from Councilmember Stevens. This is a voice vote. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? Those pass. Next up is the one item under common consent, the annexation plan amendments.
Vice Chair Belair, I move that we adopt the common consent item.
Second the motion?
We have a motion from Councilmember Garner to adopt the items under common consent and a second from Councilmember Nadolski. This is a voice vote. All in favor?
Aye.
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 Any opposed? That passes. Next up is a public hearing for fiscal year 2016 budget amendment, Fire Station Number 3 Public Art. And I believe we have Diane Stern here to present. Welcome.
Vice Chair Blair, Chair White in the distance, and council members. We're proposing an increase in the budget for public art at Fire Station Number 3. The Ogden City Arts staff, along with subcommittee, the Arts Subcommittee of the Ogden City Arts Advisory Committee, created a call for proposals for public art at the site of Fire Station Number 3. And that's at 405 East North Street. The subcommittee was formed in compliance with the Arts Committee ordinance and included a representative from the City Council staff and also from Planning, along with Chief Matthew. After a meeting with the design subcommittee and the architects on the project, it was determined it would be prudent to create the potential for funding a project that was determined to be more substantial than what the budget allowed with the percent for arts. The city council staff recommended that we request an increase, and so that's what we're doing. As a capital improvements project, the fire station generates a total of $36,511 for the public art portion of the facility. 10% of that amount needs to be put aside for maintenance, and it left a total of $32,860 for the new work of art. To put this into perspective, we're looking for a substantial piece of public art that would be with the fire station. The budget for the Hoff sign that's going to be going into the junction was $40,000, so it just wasn't quite equitable. After a meeting with the design subcommittee and the architects, the recommendation was made to consider expanding the budget to support a wider set of potential options. The increase would come from the pooled funds, and there are significant pooled funds at this time, and would bring the budget up to $50,000 for the art project. Should an acceptable submission be submitted that is less than that, the balance would be returned to the pooled funds account. So the administration would support increased expenditures if there's a significant art project presented during the RFP period. The additional funding not to exceed $18,428 from the Percent for Art Pooled Fund.
Okay.
There you go.
Any questions for Ms. String?
On these art projects, do we use local artists or artists in the area?
It depends on the call. So we have the potential to limit a call to Ogden area or Weber County artists. We were looking to make this call for the state of Utah. We're looking for a substantial piece of work, and I think that the more options that we have to consider, the better off we are.
And Diane, will it be one piece of art or multiple pieces of art?
Well, right now, we don't know. We are putting out the call, and the call will be, it may be there are several sites that have been identified as potential, but it may be that an artist working with the architects looks at that property and says, we could do, a sculpture in this place and then signage or something that complements it in another, or it could just be one piece. But that's going to come forward when we get proposals.
We don't know if it will be inside or outside?
It will be outside. Because it needs to be, the way that it is outlined is that it's public art, and most of the public doesn't go into the fire station.
Thank you.
But they do have a room for community meetings there. Won't they, Chief, have a room like that?
Yes, we do, but we also believe in the review, there's a couple prominent walls displayed on the station. One that's somewhat diagonal to the corner of Washington and North Street, and another one that's just above the bay doors that we believe are ideal on the building for sites to be considered, as well as possibly out in the front of the building. And like Diane stated, I think the effort and discussion has been trying to make sure it's out where the most amount of people can see the art display.
Okay.
Okay?
Thank you. This is a public hearing, so we will now accept public input.
Seems there's no movement. I'll make a motion that we close the public hearing.
I second it.
We have a motion to close the public hearing by Councilmember Garner and a second by Councilmember Stevens. This is a voice vote. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Any further discussion or motion?
And Chair or Vice Chair Blair, I'll make a motion that we adopt proposed ordinance 2016-1.
Second.
We have a motion to adopt proposed ordinance 2016-1 by Councilmember Garner and a second by Councilmember Nadolski. This is a roll call vote.
Councilmember Garner,
Aye.
Councilmember Lopez,
Aye.
Councilmember Nadolski,
Aye.
Councilmember Stevens,
Aye.
Vice Chair Blair,
Aye.
Chair White,
Aye.
That passes. Next is new business, the 2016 legislative session priorities. I believe Ms. Eller-Smith will be presenting.
Vice Chair Blair and council members, I'm privileged to be here tonight. I'm going to present the legislative priorities. It's a joint resolution that's before you for consideration. This is something that we do, council members do every year with the mayor to communicate our priorities for the upcoming legislative session. The city has a very active presence at the legislature. Mayor Caldwell, the CAO Mark Johnson, Greg Buxton, City Attorney Gary Williams, and other administrative staff spend a lot of time at the legislature doing some good things for the city. They've all developed really good relationships with our Northern Utah legislators. And a great example of how the city's benefited is the transportation bill that was passed last year. The city, particularly Mayor Caldwell, worked really hard to make sure that that happened, and also to convince the commissioners to put it on the ballot. So that's something that will bring $3 million in infrastructure improved funds for the city to use, and something that's really good. So every year we do this joint resolution outlining our legislative priorities. Generally speaking, in this document, we support the Ogden-Weber Chamber in their efforts. Many of you may have seen this brochure that the chamber has prepared, and it outlines their legislative priorities for 2016 and beyond. In past years, we've also echoed support for items that the Utah League of Cities and Towns has presented. This particular year, 2016, there weren't any new resolutions that came through the Utah League of Cities and Towns. So what you have primarily before you is in support of Ogden-Weber Chamber. So it covers things like water development and conservation. Obviously, in our desert state, that's something that's very important. And although we don't have in the city, we're fairly lucky to have a great water supply. There's still concerns from our surrounding communities to make sure that we have sufficient supply of water to support our growing population. Air quality is always an important issue with our unique situation that we have with the mountains. Transit is always an important thing, and we're still working on our transit project. Other transportation projects are also important. This is one area where we differ just slightly from the chamber. Their number one priority was listed as 12th Street corridor, and we listed as our number one the 24th Street, which was their number two. Supporting education, all kinds of capital funding, economic development, and healthcare are also very important to the city. One thing that has not been touched upon by the chamber was law enforcement. And there is one item that addresses law enforcement. Many of you know that there are some bills proposed relating to body cameras. And although we don't know what that final bill, if any, will come out of the 2016 legislative session, we thought it was important to let it be known that from the city's perspective, local control over all kinds of equipment for our police officers and all public safety is really important. So that is the second difference. So with that, unless there's any questions, we just recommend that you support this joint resolution.
I think there's some good categories on here, but I think in the clean air, would we include our no idle zone? I know it says that we support anything that supports clean air, but
Well, we are going to have our idle-free week coming up soon, so that's something that you'll do as a city council. This is something just supporting all kinds of acts that support clean air for the state.
We'll be jointly working with Weber Morgan Health Department on that too.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. Okay, any further discussion, or I would entertain a motion?
I'll make a motion that we adopt proposed resolution 2016-6.
Second.
We have a motion from Councilmember Garner to adopt proposed joint resolution 2016-6 and a second by Councilmember Lopez. This is a roll call vote.
Councilmember Lopez,
Aye.
Councilmember Nadolski,
Aye.
Councilmember Stevens,
aye.
Councilmember Garner,
Aye.
Vice Chair Blair,
Aye.
Chair White,
Aye.
That passes. And now we will move back up and finish up the Utah Hispanic Chamber of Commerce Ogden chapter. And we've asked Councilmember Lopez to read that recognition.
Thank you, Vice Chair. And I don't see, but I'll just to make sure, I don't see anyone here from the Hispanic Chamber of Commerce, correct? The Ogden, okay. It is an honor to read this joint resolution of the Ogden City Council and Mayor, recognizing the new Ogden chapter of the Utah Hispanic Chamber of Commerce. Whereas the Utah Hispanic Chamber of Commerce will soon begin offering businesses and career development services to Ogden area residents, the local Utah Hispanic Chamber of Commerce chapter will soon be opening. The former Ogden Chamber of Commerce is being dissolved and the members absorbed into the new chamber. UHCC is affiliated with the U.S. Chamber of Commerce and has a long history of being an invaluable resource to communities. And whereas the mission of UHCC is to provide leadership, opportunities for economic growth, professional development, and community involvement for its members. UHCC generates its members' ability to compete proficiently and successfully in the mainstream commerce environment, while also providing the next generation with the tools needed to succeed. The Chamber's purpose is to deliver professional development workshops, resource materials, and steady stream of leads, company brand visibility, and networking opportunities that will assist them in their business growth. And whereas UHCC has been in existence for 25 years, there are more than 10,000 Hispanic firms in the state of Utah, and 60% of UHCC members are Hispanic-owned firms. The Chamber has 73 corporate sponsors with 7 key community partnerships. Goldman Sachs 10,000 Small Business, Zions Bank, Pete Suazo Business Center, and Wells Fargo Bank, Salt Lake Community College Business Resource Center, Adelante Media, and Utah Cultural Celebration Center. Now, therefore, be it resolved that Ogden City, Weber County, Weber State University, Ogden Weber Tech College, and Ogden Weber Chamber of Commerce enthusiastically welcome the new Ogden chapter of the Utah Hispanic Chamber of Commerce. We look forward to opportunities to work with UHCC and are confident that this organization will make a positive and lasting impact on our community. And with that, I would like to make a motion, Vice Chair, that we pass proposed joint resolution 2016-4. Second.
Thank you. We have a motion by Councilmember Lopez to adopt proposed joint resolution 2016-4 with a second by Councilmember Nadolski. This is a voice vote. All in favor?
Aye.
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 That passes.
Vice Chair Blair, I think it would be appropriate to point out tomorrow night there is a kickoff event that this can be presented at Weber State University at 6 o'clock, and council members have been invited, and be an important beginning for the new organization. So Councilmember Lopez will be there and can present this.
Great, thank you. Okay, next is public comments. This is an opportunity to address the council regarding your concerns or ideas. Please state your name and address clearly for the record and limit your comments to 3 minutes.
Good evening. My name is Nefi Garcia. It's N-E-F-I, Nefi Garcia. Address 5710 South Green in Murray. And I'm here for today because I have a logjam. I need council's help with this. I do contract work for Verizon Wireless. Primarily when they need new cell sites, they come to me, especially here in the northern counties of Utah. Give that work to me, and I go acquire the lease. So I do a lease with the property owner, and do the local use permit with the local jurisdiction on that. I've been doing that about 9 years here in this area. The past 4 or 5 years, I've done 3 leases for Verizon Wireless for their cell sites on Ogden City property. Once we got the first one, we kind of broke the ice, and it's worked out really well since then. The second one, third one went really smooth. We had a lease in place, so we just mimicked that lease for the other leases. I had to go in front of planning to get the use permit. I obtained those permits. So currently there are 3 Verizon cell sites on Ogden City property. So Verizon's the lessee, the city's the lessor. So we're a tenant and paying rent to the city on their for the use of that. I have 3 sites that I'm looking at currently. I've been looking at them since November on actually City of Ogden property. Typically, what I've done in the past is I reach out to Monica Knapp to get the process started. And when I did that this time, she said that a committee has been formed. She says, I have forwarded your correspondence to our legal office. We have actually created a committee to handle all of our cell tower leases, et cetera. So I've dealt with Mark Stratford in the past, one of the city attorneys. So I reached out to Mark via email saying, Mark, sound like there's a committee going. I'd like to visit with you on these 3 potential properties for a cell tower. And that was back in about mid-November. Here we are almost 2 months later, and I still have gotten nowhere with any of these projects. Whether Ogden has interest or not, I have no idea. Mark has responded a few little times. During the holiday, I understand people's schedules are hard. But here I am 3 weeks into January, and I still don't know if Ogden wants to do the leases with Verizon. In my last email, I said, let me know if I should go to other properties. I'd rather not, because we got a great, program in place for both properties. And I'm stuck. My Verizon boss emailed Mark this afternoon or this morning. There's been no response back. So I'm just looking for ideas, something that I can do to break this logjam to get these either started or tell me to go somewhere else. And so that's why I'm here today.
Okay.
We'll close the loop with you this week.
Thank you.
Thank you. Any other public comment? Seeing none. Comments from the mayor?
Sure. Just quickly, I'd like to recognize those 2 special recognitions we had tonight. I know that Ogden Weaver Applied Technology College quietly goes about the business over there and sometimes feels overshadowed by their purple friends up on the hill, and I think it was great to bring them together, and I have great hopes for this new Utah Hispanic Chamber of Commerce. That event tomorrow I think will be great, and I think it'll really produce some good things for our community in terms of bridging gaps and understanding where some of the needs are. So I appreciate everybody doing that, and Amy Sue for herding all the cats to get those signatures over the weekend.
Comments from council members?
I'd like to make a quick comment. It's no coincidence that our 2016 legislative priorities were presented today. Just want to make a a comment that I appreciate the strong presence and strong voice that our administration has on the Hill. Having witnessed it personally, I know how important that is, and just wanted to express my appreciation for you guys looking out for our interests on the Hill. I know how important that is for us as a community.
Our pit bull, Greg Buxton's in the back of the room, so we'll make sure everybody hears about it. Appreciate that.
Great. Any other comments from council members?
No other comments. Vice Chair Blair, I'll make a motion that we adjourn.
Second.
We have a motion to adjourn by Councilmember Garner and a second by Councilmember Lopez. This is a voice vote. All in favor? Aye.
Aye.
As a reminder, a city council work session will be held immediately following this meeting. The items to be presented are from the Goal Foundation, linear block private club amendments, and the FY 2017 to 21 capital improvement plan and council business. Thank you.